So I've been thinking a lot about how we want to instill certain things in our children and how we want them to look back at their childhood and remember certain things and define their childhood by the things we do or say or how we act or whatever, And I found that so often it's easy to think that this vacation you take is gonna impact your child so much because you're together with them the whole day and everything's easy and fun, and because we can say yes to everything, they behave extra good. And it's just not the norm. It's not life. It's not reality. It's an escape from reality. It's vacation. And I don't know, just when you do fun stuff, when you're in a good mood, when life is easy, it's so easy to have the right attitude. It's so easy to be patient. It's so easy to say yes and have fun, But those hard moments when the children are being disrespectful or disobedient or out of control, when you're irritated at your husband, when the house is messy again after you just picked it up, when you just mop the floors and somebody tracks mud through the house, when your husband forgot to do the thing you asked him to do 5 times already in the last week. How do you act in those moments? And there seem to be those moments more than the easy moments, because this is a cursed and fallen world and life is hard. And we're constantly fighting against our sinful nature to be selfish and proud. And so it's a lot more common to be fighting against sin than to be just walking through life. It's so easy to be patient. It's so easy to be joyful. It's so easy to be nice and kind and loving at all times. Of course it's not, because everything within us is sinful and selfish, and so we are always striving to please and honor the Lord, and also the Lord is working through us and in us to be more of those things. But that is a process. It doesn't happen overnight, and all along the way our children are watching us, and that is what's impacting to them. Everyday life, the way you respond to your husband, the way your face looks when you realize he forgot to do that thing, the way you act after you sin. Do you humbly apologize and admit where you went wrong, or do you stick to your pride and just never bring it up again? The way you respond and act when they're disrespectful or impatient or disobedient. Are you disciplining with grace and in love? Are you disciplining? Are you consistent in your discipline? Or are you lashing out in anger and rage and looking like someone who's not respectable, fool, but demanding respect? Those are the things that impact our kids. Everything. All the little things that you don't even know they're watching. The way you act when drivers cut you off on the road, the way you act when you have to wait at a store, the way you act when someone's rude to you at the store, or not helpful, or whatever. I mean, the examples go on and on and on and on and on. And if they see you living out the gospel by being gracious to others, by being humble, by being joyful even in the hard times, by being patient even in the times where it's like, come on, by being cool-headed and calm and loving and tender and gracious even in the irritating times, that is going to resound and really, really, really impact those little children. When you sin against the Lord, repenting, letting them see you make mistakes and you know it, and you can't do this alone. You need Christ desperately, because that will show them that they know that it's okay, that they need Christ too. There's nothing wrong with them. That's not why you're always preaching the gospel to them. You're always preaching the gospel to them because they need Christ, and so do I. And preach the gospel to your children. Pray with your children. Point your children to Christ in every case. Every time you discipline, say something about the Lord. It may not always be this lengthy, long conversation, but it can be as simple as, and you want to have those lengthy conversations when the time is appropriate, age-wise. But sometimes it could just be like this behavior doesn't honor the Lord. We need to honor the Lord because he tells us to be this and this, and that's it. It doesn't have to always be a speech, but once they've heard the speech, they know what you're referring to. And it's just so neat to think that really, obviously we're not in control of anything. We can live the perfect life. Actually, we can't, but let's just say we could live the perfect life, and our children could still rebel against the Lord and never follow him. And the opposite, we can be the most failure, rebellious of parents that don't love God at all, and our children can grow up to love the Lord. But as believers, we have this amazing privilege that God has given us to know him before or with young children, and so we are called in Scripture to raise them up in the fear and admonition of the Lord, and to not bring them to wrath. So there's a very high calling in parenting, and we impact our children daily in the smallest little things, in things that we will not even realize until they're adults and tell us, So that can either be terrifying and overwhelming to you, but then what I'm telling you is you're taking this information and trying to live life out of your own strength. But when you come to the realization that you can't live life out of your own strength, and everything you do will be a failure without Christ, and you completely rely and rest and trust in the Lord, and just know that you're a work in progress, and he is working in you, and he is sanctifying you day by day, and all you can do is cling to him, pray, be in the Word, be around believers that are going to encourage you and help you run this race well, then there should be a peace there, knowing I'm not perfect. God is the ultimate counselor and changer of hearts, and I can instruct my children from the outside, but God will change their hearts if it is his will. And man, I hope it's his will to give them faith and change their hearts and make them love him and follow him. But there is a peace that comes with it, because you're not really the one in control. The Lord is working through you, but we do have the responsibility to obey Scripture and live out this life honoring the Lord in all we do, obeying the Lord in all we do, and following the Word, and teaching it to our children, not only through the Scriptures by reading to them and teaching them, but also living it out every day. And so do not be overwhelmed, but find grace, because God is so good. He's going to equip you to do this good work, and he chose you to be your children's mother, and he will give you what you need to do that well, because he is so, so, so good. And all you can do is point to him, point to him, point to him, and that's exactly what he wants you to do. Point to him, because that's what your children need more than anything in the entire world, is him. So just keep pointing to Christ, even when we mess up. I messed up. We all make mistakes. I need Jesus, and so do you. And I'm going to tell you that because I love you, and teach your children to understand that everybody needs Jesus, so that they will share him with everybody, because there's nobody good. Nobody. My kids are always asking, what do bad guys, what about bad guys? What about good guys? I'm like, boys, we're all bad guys. We all need Jesus, So I hope that's encouraging. I got a little scatterbrained there, but my main point was our daily life impacts our children more than we can possibly imagine. It's not just those little special, unique moments that are like once a year. Every day matters, so use every day. And you can't live every day to this perfect, weird picture you've made in your mind of what it should be. So don't be overwhelmed. Instead, point them to Christ constantly, and that should bring you peace and comfort. God bless you guys.